I spoke to women who felt like this was a business that, you know, to those women I asked, well, if this is a business, what makes this different from prostitution? So, I mean, I really want to speak to that woman, and I need you especially, what would you say to this young lady?
I would tell her that she's only hurting herself in the long run. And it is mattering with self-esteem, because there's no way that you can say that you don't want this, but you're still getting it. You're playing second place,
right,
to yourself.
Okay.
You're hurting yourself in the long run. Because what happens when you do have the married man that you start to fall in love with? Then what? You're going to want more. No one's in a relationship just for the business unless you are a prostitute, right, or a gigolo.
Well, how about this? How about the women that say, guys do it all the time, so why can't we do it?
Then you should be single and play the field.
But she is single. He's not.
What I'm saying is that guys who are, some guys date married women, and they can feel the same way that she's feel. They don't want a relationship. They don't want to have to worry about a woman calling saying, where are you, and all this stuff, even though those things could happen either way. So that part, I was just like, what? But some women, it could be, I think, a control issue when they're really not controlling it, but in their minds maybe they feel like it's a control issue, so they can control who they date, what they do. This person may be giving them money, could be a sponsor.
Why could it not be that way without the married man?
Right.
This is what I'm saying. Like,
definitely.
If you're playing that role, then you could be playing this role with other men. Like, why are you're belittling yourself? And what happens when the woman finds out and she does confront you and she says you're ruining your house, our home? And
I agree. Yeah. I think the whole dynamic of this is there is no cheating without the other woman. Our previous show, we discussed the cheating and the effect that it had on the woman being cheated on, but I did want to address this other woman's scenario and just hearing what this young lady said. Like, I feel bad for her. You know, actually, like, I've been in situations where I've been cheated on, and as women, sometimes we get mad at the other woman. And, you know, in a situation where she may not have known that he was in a relationship, there's no issue with her.
Right.
But in this situation, this is not cool. Mm-hmm. This is somebody that's feeding into the selfishness of the person that you're in a relationship with. So I did another interview, and we spoke to a man, and surprisingly, he kind of understood where this thought process comes from. So I'd like to take a quick look at that, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
The other woman, depending on how you look at it, I'm going to say she's likes her time, because if she is sharing somebody else's man, then she has more time to herself. For me, that's a dangerous situation, especially in today's times. Not only from a health point of view, but from a point of view of how it's going to affect another person, and that can be dangerous because nobody wants their emotions trampled on, played with, or messed over, and that can put that person in a dangerous situation. So for me, that's a dangerous situation.
Okay. Seeing that clip, to me what I saw was I think he was being very sensitive to the subject matter, where he feels like, you know, maybe she just wants her own time, you know, more time to herself. But the other issue he raised, that this is a big concern. This is a health concern. This actually, like he said, in today's day and age, you're really playing with your life, because every woman on the other side, her emotions might be weak because she loves this man, but you don't know what type of crazy you could be dealing with. And if it gets back to her, then that's a whole other issue that you have to deal with. So for men who kind of understand, like, I don't know, because I could argue the side of the wanting to be single, but not the part where you want to date married men. What are your thoughts?
I really do believe that it's an emotional issue with the woman herself, because you're not putting yourself on high enough standards to believe that you could have this for yourself. And you can say you're okay with it, but clearly we already know that you're lying, because you lie because you're messing around with a married man.
Okay.
So that's a lie in itself. So you're lying to yourself. Like, they need to have more self-esteem. They need to think about the issues.
How do we get there? Because we addressed the issue that, it's low self-esteem. You're choosing second place, which should never, ever be an option, ladies. Second place is just not an option. So for these ladies, like, if this is your girlfriend, your sister, what are we telling these women? Because I want women to see this show, and if this is your situation, I want you to pull something out of this and make a better choice for your life. So what are we saying?
The mistress will always remain the mistress.
I don't think that's true.
I believe that is true.
No, because sometimes this has happened, that they could be married. Maybe he should not have married the person he married, but he married her because he thought that she was a good girl of the image that he wanted. But he wanted this other woman. So I can't sit here and say I believe that every guy that has a mistress has stayed with his wife. Because
I didn't say that he stayed with his wife. I said she will always be the mistress.
Not if he leaves his wife and marries her.
Well, did you mean like she would still be treated as such in their new relationship?
If that is the case, which is probably very low, why are you cheating then? Then if this woman is the good woman and she's the woman that you really want, and she's willing to have a relationship with you while you're married, then she's really not that good woman, because it can still happen on both sides. It can still take place. Now, if he says, I married the wrong lady, then you divorce. You divorce the lady, and then you start dating the lady that you want to date.
I don't want to seem like an advocate for divorce. Like, that is so not my platform.